यथाग्निर्दाहिका शक्ति रामकृष्णे स्थिता हिया सर्वविद्या स्वरूपां त्वां शारदां प्रणमाम्यहम्. Like fire and its power to burn. So, Holy Mother Sarada is situated in Ramakrishna. My repeated salutations to the Divine Mother. My pranams to many namaskars to Sarvapriyananda. I want to thank him specially for this opportunity to be here in New York, spend some time, and it was wonderful. Good morning to you all, and children of the Mother. One of the things I kind of have studiously avoided is speaking about the Mother. Somehow, she gets to me. And then, like Swamiji says, somebody was asked to make an image of Shiva and ended up by making a monkey. So that's a kind of subconscious fear. If I'm going to speak of Mother, I don't know, what do I speak of? I hope I don't kind of make a caricature out of her. But Mother, with her infinite grace, she will forgive. But then I will keep on getting nervous, and she will keep on doing her forgiveness. So the one way I would try to make light of the talk of Mother is, there was one Swami. He's saying it's very easy to talk of the Mother. And Swami Bhuteshananda, who was Mother's disciple and who lived for decades in the US, Portland, he used to say, Mother? Mother liked Moody. You know what's Moody? Puff rice. Puff rice. Mother loved Moody. Mother loved puff rice. And he kept on and on and on and on and on. Mother loved puff rice. Mother loved Moody. You know Moody? Yeah, that's puff rice. So this is one way of kind of speaking about her, And then there's another way that we like to spend an hour meditating on Mother. That will kind of purify us. It's kind of strange, like surreal, that today, on this day, 22nd December, 1853, Mother was born. Here. And she lived for 67 years. And it's about a century since she has passed away. It seems are we here to kind of celebrate a historical event? But deep down we know that there has to be something more than kind of a celebration of a historical event. Mother has kind of become a historical personage. So we have Mother here who was born, and her birth itself was kind of wonderful. Her mother, Chandramani Devi, had gone to her parents' house in a neighboring village called Shihor. And there, on her way back to her home, she felt a kind of a call of nature, and she goes towards some kind of bushes. And there was a tree, a bale tree. Later, Mother says, Holy Mother, she says that it was kind of a false urge. And her womb was full of prana, there was an onrush of prana in her womb. So she sat down there in the dark and she saw a little girl, beautiful, wearing red clothes and having all those ornaments, jewels around her. She descends with the jingling sound down the tree and she embraces Chandramani Devi, saying, "Here I am come." And Chandramani fell unconscious and she felt that that girl had entered a womb. Her father, Ramchandra Mukhopadhyay, he was kind of worried about the poverty at home and he wanted to go to Calcutta in order to kind of find some employment so that he could get a little money. Well, one day in the afternoon, he kind of has a dream. He sees a very beautiful looking girl. She too comes and embraces, "Here I have come to your home." And he's saying, this girl could be the goddess Lakshmi. And it's kind of a good sign that if I go to Calcutta now, probably I'll get some money or something like that. He did go, but he returned, of course. And when Chandramani Devi, they kind of compared notes, they found that the child who's going to be born was a divine child, and they were anticipating the child's arrival. And there she was, 22nd December, 1853, and she lived for about 67 years. 1920, July, she passed away, July 21st. So here we have her birth as divine. In the Bhagavad Gita, they say, "Janma karma chame divyam." My birth is divine. My works are all divine. If you can understand it, you will be freed from repeated births and deaths. So today's birthday, and you must remember that it was a divine. It's not just historical. And if we can meditate, read about her, think about her works, they are all divine. That also will purify us. So this is the way to blessedness. So history, let's get down to Nicole. History is generally the study of past events, of human affairs. And it's mostly rulers and warriors. And it seems as if humanity or civilization was engaged in constant wars. Is this civilized behavior? Well, it seems our whole history is full of these kind of warmongering people. And never the common people are mentioned because they of course bear the brunt of these wars. Every single war decimates the common people. But history, as we know, has got it's a very layered narrative. There are two sources. The primary is like a chronicle or an artifact or kind of a broken pottery or something. These are primary sources of history. And the secondary is we study these things and we kind of write about it. Nobody writes first-hand accounts of history. History is always later. But then there are many types of histories: the political history, the economic history, the intellectual history, cultural history, social history, and histories and histories and histories. And it's a kind of a multi-dimensional discipline. Here, archaeology and geology and genetics and engineering, they're trying to reconstruct what was there in the past. And it has been there for eons, how we are living our lives, what our lives were like. In India, there was another type of history, and I would like to call it a deep history. What's that deep history? Yes, that's the spiritual history. Swami Vivekananda was very clear that all our reformers and all our leaders were all spiritual people. For millions and by millions of people, for thousands of years, we have been kind of nurtured on these old stories of gods and goddesses, of sages and saints, and the various avatars. This has been the factor in molding the collective mind of the nation. And once you mold a collective mind, history as we know it also gets molded. People generally see history as a kind of superficial things. Some narratives and some incidents. And they don't see the depth down there. This is what we have to remember. And when I was young, all these stories seemed like just what they are, stories. Stories. So many stories. And there's no race like the Indians in bringing out stories. Endless stories. All the cock and bull stories also will be included there. Yeah. But this spiritual core of history has been protected by innumerable people. In fact, a class of people were designed just to kind of remember, memorize, and transmit it to the next generation. Over and over and over. In fact, half of the populace was just involved in preserving this treasury. If this is lost, this history is lost, everything is lost. Mother stands on the very crest of one of these giant, deep spiritual waves that is inundating the world today. Today, we are in New York. Who would have believed this mother was a simple, rustic woman in a rural setting? She's worshipped here in New York, of all the places here? Yes, but this is a miracle. Mother never wore a footwear all her life. I think there's only one time she wore a kind of a shirt. You have this woman who's now adored, worshipped, and prayed to. There has to be some kind of connection between us and this Holy Mother. There has to be, there's a kind of a faint, you can say, recollection. Yes, somehow we are connected. And this is acknowledging our own spiritual urges. We also have that deep history within ourselves. So here we have Holy Mother. And like I said, a lot of stories, many stories. One of the stories is, I'll tell you again. Mother had gone with her constant companions, attendants, to Balram Bose's house nearby to watch the play called Daksha Yajna. That's a sacrifice of Daksha. Daksha was one of the Prajapatis. And she went there and then she was watching that play unfold. Daksha, he had a daughter called Sati, Parvati. So she had married Shiva against her father's wishes. So for this yajna, he did not invite either Shiva or Sati. And Narada, the kind of troublemaker, as I say, he comes and kind of tells Sati, you see, your father is having a nice big sacrifice there. And all the sages and all the gods have been invited. Oh, you're not invited. Oh, too bad. So Sati goes to Mount Kailash on the day and she sees her sister. Daksha had a lot of daughters only. She sees her daughters getting ready to go for the sacrifice along with the husbands. And the actor he really puts his heart in that. He says, me, all my sisters are going, but me. And the pathos in those words awakened that old memory in Holy Mother. And she also starts weeping and say, me, all my sisters are going for that sacrifice except me. Gauri Ma was beside her. What did you say, mother? What did you say? Now you can't hide your real nature. We've understood it. This is a kind of a simple story. Yes, she finds echoes of her past existence. It also implies another very great idea, that every sage or saint or incarnation comes and re-authenticates the past. A whole long spiritual history is re-authenticated, re-established, and burnished and placed before humanity. This is what it was. This is what it is. So we have this great advantage in Mother authenticating so many things. Unbelievable. There are hundreds of incidences. I'll give you a few of them, of course. There's another well-known incident when, after the war with Ravana in the Ramayana, they return to the mainland, that's India. And Mother kind of makes a symbol of Shiva, Shivalinga, with sand, She worships it. When Swami Ramakrishna Order, who was there in Madras in the south, he invites Mother and he takes her to that same place, that same temple, Rameshwaram. And when she sees that old Shivalinga, it's just as it was. I had kept it, placed it there. And Golap Ma will say, Mother, what did you mean? What did you say? No, nothing. She saw that old Shiva Linga and she remembered her incarnation as Sita. So when you have something like this, so the whole Ramayana is now established. Yes, it really happened. In Vrindavan, after Sri Ramakrishna passed away, going around in Vrindavan, she spent about a year there. And she was searching, as it were, in the state of high spiritual, you can say, mood, for Sri Krishna. And then she confides to one of her attendants, I was Radha in my previous incarnation. Here. There's another, and then we'll proceed. Shivram, Shivu, he was a nephew. So one day he was accompanying Holy Mother from Shri Ramakrishna's village, Kamarpukur, to Jairam Bhati, her village. And as they neared the village, it was dusk. And Shivu suddenly, he stood. And Mother proceeded and turned back and said, what happened? Come along. It's getting dark. Tell me who you are. Oh, I'm your aunt. What? No, you tell me who you are. I'm not moving. There, the village is there. You can go ahead. I'm returning. Until unless you tell me who you are. Saying, I'm your aunt. Who else can I be? No, you tell me. And then she says, people call me Kali. So So, asito devalo vyasa swayam chaiva braviti. So, great sages have said those things about her. And she herself has now kind of declared it. Okay, mother is like, she looks simple, and inadvertently she used to give out all these kind of secrets about her, which has greatly helped us, of course. When you come to Sri Ramakrishna, oh my, once inadvertently he said Tui. It's a kind of a, not an honorific, you can say, address, And he got so agitated. Generally we say to me or apni. It's more kind of proper. He thought that Holy Mother who had entered was his niece Lakshmi. And he said, Tui, that is, you close the door when you leave. And I say, okay. And he got so agitated. So you see, I thought you were Lakshmi, and actually I didn't realize it was you. Don't mind I said this word, Tui. Okay. And he kept on pestering her. Please excuse me. If Sri Ramakrishna was so agitated by just calling her Tui, imagine what our state of mind will be. Because we don't realize what she was. And then again, we have, he's saying she's Sharada, she's Saraswati. She has descended to give knowledge. And this time she has covered up beauty, unless regenerate people might look at her and commit sin in the mind. So here we have. He's telling Hriday, his attendant and nephew also. See, and they used to quarrel. Hriday was a kind of he had become so insolent because he was now serving Sri Ramakrishna. Saying, you see, you can say whatever you want to me, okay? But don't say anything to her. If that being inside awakens, then the creator gods, Brahma, Vishnu, Maheshwara, will not be able to save you. This is this Holy Mother. And now you realize why I hesitate to speak about her. I'm going to make a caricature of her. But this is, once Sri Ramakrishna, Swami Vivekananda was, he had returned on the first visit to America, he returned to India. And one of his kind of rather old friend, Surendranath Sen, Suren. So he had read his Raj Yoga and all these things, and he wanted to get initiated by Swami Vivekananda. And he was practicing Raj Yoga, all these things. So Swamiji had, okay, and there were other two recipients of the mantra that day, for that day. So when Surendra's turn comes, he's saying, Sri Ramakrishna has told me that the one who is going to, I'm not your guru, the one who is going to initiate you is greater than me. So he's saying, who can be greater than you? No, I'm not going to. No, I cannot be your guru. And later we find that first he has a vision of a goddess giving him a mantra. He never repeats it. He kind of dismisses it. And then later, much later, he goes to Jarambati and he was initiated by Holy Mother with that same mantra he had received in the stream. And then he realized, you are greater than Vivekananda? The scriptures speak about the knowledge of Brahman. That's the highest experience a human body can take in, as they say. It's a very kind of sublime experience. And very few people can ever attain that. But then the knowledge of Brahman, but there are grades, There's something called a Brahmavid, the knower of Brahman. There's something called Brahmavid Vara, the better knower of Brahma. And there's the Brahmavid Variyan, he is still better. And there's the Brahmavid Varishta, the best. You know, these Swamiji and all these, they were the best knowers of Brahman. But even he, what's greater than that? Yes. But when he used to go to Holy Mother to make pranam, he was like those shakers and quakers, you know, have you? That was, it rang a bell. Huh? He used to literally shiver, get frightened to go there and make pranams. On his way to Mother's house, when he used to go by that boat, he used to keep on sprinkling Ganga water on him. And those with him accompanying him say, you'll get sick with all that. I feel I'm not pure enough. Pure enough. What could be more purer than Swami Vivekananda, who strode like a colossus over the globe, and here he feels like a child. And Mother, she used to put that veil down. I don't think he ever saw Holy Mother's face. Maybe later on when Nivedita showed a photograph, probably. He never saw Mother's face in real. But he used to feel like a child. There was Swami Vivekananda. He had once accompanied Swamiji. So he's saying, come, did you make pranams to Mother? So, yeah. He just made pranams, a short pranam, and he came out. And Swamiji returned to see how he was making pranams. Is this the way to make pranams to the Mother? Don't you know who Mother is? She's the Mother of the universe. And there he showed, this is the way you have to make pranams. And again, he gave a long prostration there. Here we have somebody like Vivekananda also feeling kind of frightened. Frightened in the sense, all that devotion and all, you can say, that knowledge that he had of Mother, he felt so small. And at times, yes, even you feel, you kind of look at her, what is this? There's a tremendous power here. But the power of the Mother is manifested this time. That goddess has come as a mother. And she used to be busy the whole day, cooking and feeding and cleaning the place for devotees. It seems divinity was just engaged in trying to feed us. Yeah. And she used to get so upset if a particular kind of food stuff is not available there. She used to scour the neighborhood for that. Return and feed that child. It seems divinity had become like us, one of us. And that is why you can say anything now to the Mother. And she let it pass. You know, these boys are all okay, boys and girls are okay. These are children. We have we've been pushing the barriers of knowledge for hundreds of years, really hundreds of years. I mean, after the scientific revolution, if you can take it like. We have been doing that before. But the more we know, the more we feel we do not know. The test of knowledge is, it should make you happy. It should confer immortality and bliss. But all our knowledge is making ourselves miserable. Why? We have missed that essential element behind us, behind in our consciousness and in the world. If that is there, the more we'll know about ourselves, the more we'll know about the world, and the more we'll know about God. The more we know about God, the more we'll know about ourselves, and more we'll know. These three things are linked. Jiva, Ishvara, and you can say Jagat. you take one and you strive to know that, you'll know the whole. Yes, kind of very strange, but it's true, it happens. We won't go into the psychology of it. So these three categories are always interlinked. Where exactly then we search? As the Bhagavad Gita says, Jnanam Gneyam Jnanagamyam Hridhi Sarvasya Vishtita. It is there in your own heart. There you can see all these planes intersect. The world, the you, and the divinity. Go down deep and you will find Mother there. Like, yes, Mother is real now. Like, she is not just a kind of a relic or an artifact of history. She is real. Yes, if she is real, she has to be eternal. And if she is eternal, she has to be ever present. You cannot have a reality which is real in the past or maybe real in the near future. It has to transcend time. It has to transcend cultures. It has to transcend every kind of individuality. And here we have this Mother here, worshipped by everyone, all types of people. There is that reality there within our own hearts that is kind of, as you say, oozing out. So, Bahirantasya bhutanam acharam charamevacha sukshmatva tadavigneyam dhurastha chantike tat. That is that reality which is inside us, which is outside us, which is near and which is far. She is that avibhaktam cha bhuteshu. She's as if has divided herself into all of us. Yet she is undivided. This is this reality called the Mother. If you look at it as a reality. And we have seen how these great sages and like that, all the direct disciples, in fact, they had an inkling of this kind of massive, you can say, reality of Mother. One time, a devotee of Mother, also attendant, she was sitting down there meditating. Mother was sitting down beside her and meditating. And as the meditation became deeper and deeper, she saw in a kind of a vision, Mother sitting down, stark naked, and giving birth to millions and millions of beings. And she got frightened and she opened eyes and she seen Mother quietly sitting and meditating. And he said, Mother, I seen you like this. Oh, by Shri Ramakrishna's grace, you had the vision of the matrix of Prakriti. She is Prakriti. All creation has come from her. This is a kind of a spiritual magnitude. And if you can take just a little of it, that will be kind of enough. Yeah. Let's look at it from a different angle. This universe is vast, 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 vast. We don't know how vast it is. And it's expanding. And Vedanta can say also, why stick to one universe? There can be many universes. And why many? There can be millions of other universes. Why are you sticking to one? And we don't even know the extent of this one. 13.8 billion years and it's expanding, they say. Yeah, it's kind of interesting because in New York I got to see that in the planetarium, beautiful, you can say. One of the hallmarks of New York is that you get to see such things. The expanding universe. Wow. And And it shows how kind of insignificant we are on this very earth here. But this vast universe here, what's the essence of this universe? What's the essence of this universe? Where they say it's a 4% universe or a 6% universe. Visible matter, physical matter is just a fraction of this whole. It's life. Life is the very essence of this vast universe. And that is the reason why we are always trying to seek extraterrestrial life. No? Because life seeks life. It's always like that. And just beside the point, if we do find life outside, it will change the way we look at ourselves. And if we don't find life outside, it will also change the way we look at ourselves. Yes, that idea of tremendous responsibility will come to all of us. Yes. And how are we behaving? The whole universe is there for us. In fact, we are we are the universe. So life is the very essence of this universe. And see how life has transformed this barren rock called Earth. Life is everywhere, in water, in the air, in the clay, in the depths of the ocean, everywhere. Take a drop of water and you'll find it teeming with life. Life has actually transformed this planet into what it is. Now some stupid lives are trying to transform it in the reverse way. That has to be kind of safeguarded. They say, there are no intelligent life anywhere. You know why? Because the moment you become an intelligent species, you kind of destroy yourself. The way we are trying to do it now. So you have got to be careful about it. So in this whole universe, it is life. We don't know whether life exists outside there. But here we know that this is what the universe is, life. It's a tremendous responsibility. And I think we are all alive here. Thank God. It's the greatest gift to you all. You should be happy. I don't know why people get sad or depressed or anxious or stressed. And what kind of immaturity is this? We don't value this life that we have. And what is the essence of life? Mind. Yes. And that's why it's actually life that has kind of manifested what is called a mind. There are some researchers now that are trying to look at the phenomena of life giving rise to the phenomena of mind. But if there is no mind, you become a kind of a mindless idiot with life. But some of us are. And this is what we have. We have a mind, and this mind has made us what it is. It's redesigned us. We are redesigning this world. You say, God has made these fruits and flowers. Yeah, really? It's actually us, humankind, who has redesigned these fruits and flowers and animals, and also the lovely dogs. In New York, you get to see those wonderful looking dogs. God has made the dog. No, sorry. We have kind of manipulated things. And now with genetics in our hand, we are going to design our babies also, designer babies. All because of the mind. See how nature took all this time to kind of design us. Now we are pushing nature, as it were. by being helpmates. Later on, we will also have the power to go even further than nature. But nature takes a time, long time. We want things quickly. We go to McDonald's and we just cannot wait. It has to come quickly. So fast, everything is fast. Fast food, fast drinks, fast cars, fast life, everything is fast. We are in a hurry. Yeah, what to do what? You tell me. So we have this mind, but there's a story in one of the Upanishads. So all the sense organs were disputing who's the greatest. And so, okay, fine. So they go to their father Prajapati, and the Prajapati says, in whose absence this place will become kind of rotten. We will not be able to stay out here. So each one decides to go out and live for a year and see what happens. So the eyes went out and for 1 year, and they came, how did you live? Oh, we all right, like blind people, we are like, it's okay. And the years went out, and how did you live without me? Oh, just like deaf people and all that. So one by one. And the mind also went out. Now let me see what they do without me. And it went out, and it returned, very happy. Then what happened? Oh, we were all right. We were like these mindless children. We were like that, but we were alive. So higher than the mind, there is something. There in that story we have prana, of course, but you have this something called intelligence. And we are marked by this intelligence. You are judged by your intelligence, not by any other thing. Not by your sex, not by your wealth, not by your poverty, not by your car, nothing. People try to embellish themselves with all these things, but you are judged by your intelligence. And it is this intelligence that really makes us what we are. A friend was just talking about this in the morning, and they're saying, I know the Gayatri Mantra. Yeah, the Gayatri Mantra does nothing but tell prayers like, let me become more intelligent. Yeah, that's all. And that was what was valued. Dhimahi dhiyo yo na prachodayat. Yeah. So, intelligence is that. Now, what is the essence of this intelligence? Well, consciousness. Yes. You remove consciousness and the whole reality topples down. All this reality we are talking about, billions and millions and all these things, everything collapses. It's on consciousness. So, in one of the Upanishads, we have Aitri Upanishads, all these beings, Svedaja, Udbijaja and all these things, all these which are born, big and small, they are guided by consciousness. This is called the great Mahavakya Prajnanam Brahma. That consciousness is at Brahman. So when we come down to Chandi, you sing Chiti Rupena Ya Krishna Ekam Vyapya Stito Jagat Namastasai 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 Nama. Say Chiti Rupena, one who dwells in all beings as consciousness and which pervades the whole universe. Repeated salutations to. I think we can stop here for now. Oh, but then we started off with history and all that thing. We leave a trail behind. We leave footprints behind wherever we go. And we have forgotten all these footprints that we have left behind. But somewhere, all what you have done and what you have not done is all encoded in your genes. Yes, your long evolutionary history is all written down there, undeniably. And we can extract it, we'll see what you were. I was never a monkey. There are these guys, the people who deny evolution, Oh, there's no evolution. Well, you take one of their cells and extract the gene and say, there you were a monkey there. You are not denying? So we have our whole history is kind of written in our genes. Yeah. There is also another memory that we carry. Everything what you have done and what you have not done and everything that like sins of omission and commission and all that. There is nothing deep down in your mind. There is kind of layers and layers of karma memory. Yeah. So we are actually creatures of our own history. Yeah, we can't get out of it. If we can't get out of it, how do we get out of the whole thing? Yeah. There is another history that we are speaking about, a deep history. Every prayer that you have prayed, every tear that you have wept, every cry that you have sent out to those unknown gods and goddesses for help in the depths of your misery, they are answered. That is your spiritual history. Your prayers, your fast, your vigils, your tears. And that embodies as the Holy Mother. That's why she says, my child, remember that you have a mother. I am a real mother. So a disciple asks her, Mother, are you the mother of all? She says, yes, of course, I'm mother of all. But even of these lower beings? Yes. Now, who can say this? Either the person is kind of completely nuts, or the person knows. And this person knows. So today, in celebrating Holy Mother's birthday, in a way we had prepared ourselves for that through all our history of frustrations and tears and misery and darkness and despair for help, and she has come to help us out. Om Shanti 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 Harihi Om Tat Sat Shri Ramakrishna Arpanamastu.
Wonderful to be back here. I was just thinking this morning, in Belur Math, in our main monastery, and in our ashrams in India, where there are many monks in each ashram, there's a tradition. On special days, birthdays of Sri Ramakrishna, Ma Sharada, Swami Vivekananda, on the birthdays of the direct disciples, it's a tradition to offer pranams to the senior monks. So everybody goes and offers pranams to senior monks. And then I thought, I usually don't get that opportunity here, but today I can do it. So I came downstairs and the Swami was getting ready to come out to give a talk, I think. So I went and offered pranams. Because not only are we celebrating the auspicious birth anniversary of Holy Mother Ma Sarada Devi today, the actual date was last week, but for convenience we're doing it today on Sunday. But also, amazingly enough, it happens to be the birthday of Swami Shivanandaji. You can see the pictures almost disappeared behind the flowers. Swami Shivanandaji, he was the second president of our order. He was known as Mahapurush Maharaj, the great soul. He was one of the disciples of Sri Ramakrishna and a brother disciple of Swami Vivekananda. So in one sense, blessed day because of Holy Mother's auspicious birth anniversary being celebrated. Twice blessed because we have Swami Shivanandaji's birthday today. And thrice blessed because we have one more monk here today to whom we can offer pranams. I know I speak on the behalf of the entire congregation, on behalf of the entire Vedanta Society New York family, when we express our thanks, our gratitude to Swami Satyamayananda ji for his generosity in coming over here from across the country and staying with us for 1.5 months here. And I've been hearing all the time, over the last 1.5 months, and especially yesterday, how much you all loved his presence here. Yes. So, he asked me to say a few words about the occasion today. I was just thinking, a thought came to me that the difference between Sri Ramakrishna, Swami Vivekananda, and the Holy Mother. We always say that they are one reality in three, appearing as three. But what about the differences? I was just thinking, if you look at the Holy Mother's life, as the Swami was saying, a typical day would be from very early in the morning, before the sun rose, she would be up. A day of not only prayer and meditation and devotion, but also hard work. She looked after so many people. Everybody was her child. She cooked and cleaned and fed and consoled, managed money, money matters, and so many things. The ashram, difficult people. Some were crazy, some were childish, some were greedy, some were complicated. And some were very good. They were saintly. She was surrounded by saints. She was surrounded by ordinary people. She was surrounded by outright crooks also. But they all felt her presence and her divinity, and she uplifted everybody. Now, what she showed was, in the midst of all of that, we can be spiritual. Sri Ramakrishna lived a life. He shone with spirituality. Swami Vivekananda spread the message all across the world, especially here. But Sri Sarada Devi showed us how we can do it in our day-to-day lives. Sri Ramakrishna was an ecstatic, a mystic. There's very few of us who can live a life like that. It's impossible, almost impossible. Swami Vivekananda was one of those people who come once in many generations, not even a generation, many generations. A mystic himself, a philosopher, a preacher, a world shaker and mover. He's molding today's world. The more and more I see East and West, you see the influence of Swami Vivekananda behind many things in the world today. Again, very rare. There are very few of us who can live like that. I remember when I was a young monk in our Ramakrishna Mission, Deoghar, a young man came to be a monk. And I met him and I asked him in front of the temple, "Why do you want to be a monk?" And he said, well, all he had read was Swami Vivekananda coming to Chicago World Parliament of Religions. He said, "I would like to go to the World Parliament of Religions and talk about it." I said, "That's been done. That's been done." That's not for us. I mean, humor apart, people sometimes say, well, Swami Vivekananda was one, but how many more have been produced like it? More are not necessary. That message has to transform our lives, and that's what's necessary. That's the whole purpose of it. Now, how do you do that? Actually, in the midst of ordinary lives, quotidian lives, our day-to-day lives. And that's Sarada Devi. The kind of life she led from early morning till night, that hard work, and not the so-called spiritual work, not meditation and philosophy and ecstasies, and the kind of people. Sri Ramakrishna was generally surrounded by spiritual seekers. Swami Vivekananda, he was surrounded by people who were eager to know, to drink in the knowledge he was giving them. But the Holy Mother was surrounded by people of the world, all kinds of people. I was thinking, if Sri Ramakrishna had been told to do that you, from the morning, no more Kali and meditation and ecstasies and singing. You have to get up and cook and clean and feed these people and take care of money. Terrible thing for Sri Ramakrishna. He couldn't touch it. He would immediately fly into samadhi. He would stand like this. Absolutely. He would have nothing to do with it. And Swami Vivekananda did not want to do all this work. If you read his life, all he wanted was to retreat into the Himalayas and stay in a cave and meditate. And meditate and meditate. He used to say that give me a book and a nook. If he had been asked, look after the crazy ant and Radhu and Maku and deal with these people who are not interested in Vedanta philosophy. They want to get money out of you, they want to harass you, he would have fled into his beloved Himalayan caves. He would have to do none of this. But the Holy Mother did it day after day, month after month, year after year, and all her life. And yet, she was serene, she was calm, she was joyful, she was a source of spiritual strength to saint and sinner. So, for a dacoit, a robber, and for the saintly Swami Saradananda, she says, as Sharat is my child, so is Amjad my child. A simple thing, but it's not all that simple, and she means every word of it. They're equally her children. That's a mother's heart. So it shows us in our lives how we can be spiritual day to day throughout our lives, how it can help us and help us to rise above. Her teachings are so gentle but so deep. Just one example. I was reading this morning. She says, just like a waterfall flowing downwards, the mind, the nature of the mind is downward. It will go down into the world. But under the influence of the sun, the radiance of the sun, the same water rises high in the sky. Evaporation clouds. In the same way, by the grace of God, that same mind, it dwells on higher things, on sublime things. How does the grace of God come upon us? She says, think about God. Keep your mind on God. If you love human love, she says, my child, human love is full of suffering. There is suffering in human love. But the blessed is the one who loves God alone. In the love of God, there is no suffering. Remember, it's not a dichotomy. She's not saying love God and then forget about human beings. We have to see it in the light of her life. She loved everybody deeply and individually. Each person felt that she's my mother. It's not a general, she's talking to an audience. Each person felt that she was giving me her full attention. So this transcendent yet immanent love, this is the core of the teaching of the Divine Mother. Today we pray to Sri Ramakrishna, to the Holy Mother, to Swami Vivekananda, to Swami Shivanandaji. May they bless all of us. Fill our hearts with joy and love and strength. Let our minds remain on God as we journey through this amazing experience of life. Thank you very much. Do we have...